I would feel terrible if Donald Trump gets elected, and terrible if Hillary Clinton gets elected. Donald Trump says despicable things, but Hillary Clinton has a terrifying track record. Catastrophic wars, helping destroy the social safety net, creating mass incarceration, and supporting deportations. The answer to Donald Trump is a revolutionary agenda that will end the economic misery. A Green New Deal will create 20 million jobs, halt climate change, and make wars for oil obsolete. We can cancel student debt, make healthcare and college free, create a welcoming path to citizenship, and end systemic racism. It's time to reject the lesser evil and fight for the greater good, like our lives depend on it, because they do.
Hey guys, it's Andy Vegan, and I am not one to be politically savvy. I was never really into politics or anything like that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who can relate. That's because politicians have never really given me any hope or faith, but I feel like as of recently, I've been really into the whole presidential debate, to think that we only had two options to choose from, two of the worst, two of the most hated people that have ever run for president, which is Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, as you know. And it's clear that at this point, the only reason why people are voting for Hillary Clinton is because they're afraid of Donald Trump. And the only reason why people are voting for Donald Trump is because they don't like Hillary Clinton. So what does that say? We have a nation of people who's not voting for the person that they want to see in the White House because they genuinely believe in that person and agrees with that person and will stand by that person's decisions for the rest of the country. But instead, people are voting out of their fears.
Dr. Stein, given the way our political system works, effectively you could help Donald Trump like Ralph Nader helped George Bush in 2000. How could you sleep at night?
I will have trouble sleeping at night if Donald Trump is elected. I will also have trouble sleeping at night if Hillary Clinton is elected. And as despicable as Donald Trump's words are, I find Hillary Clinton's actions and track record is very troubling. So Donald Trump, bashes immigrants and is a xenophobic and racist loudmouth. But Hillary Clinton, has been promoting these wars that have killed 1 million black and brown people in Iraq, for example. The Democratic Party has become the party of deportation and detentions and night raids with, millions of people deported under Barack Obama. Some of them include the refugees from Honduras, where Hillary Clinton gave the thumbs up to a coup from which thousands of people have been fleeing who have not been welcomed into this country. And Hillary, in fact, has supported many of the White House policies of deportation and detentions. On, the issue of nuclear war, I am very concerned about trouble breaking out in Syria in this air war that Hillary is threatening to have. So, as disturbing as Donald Trump's talk is, I find Hillary Clinton's track record is actually very much of concern too. This politics of fear that tells you you've got to vote against the person you most dislike or the person you are most afraid of, that politics of fear has a track record. Because a lot of people have been, that's been like the prevailing mythology. You got to vote your fears, not your values. And what has that delivered? All the reasons you're told to vote for the lesser evil, because you didn't want the expanding wars, you didn't want the meltdown of the climate, or the Wall Street bailouts, or the deportation of immigrants. That's exactly what we've gotten by allowing ourselves to be silenced. So in my view, we need to reject the lesser evil and fight for the greater good, like our lives depend on it, because in fact they do.
But can you actually win in this system?
That's not a democracy, that's fearocracy. And there are other options out there for people who don't realize, or people who are not aware. You're not only limited to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. All you have to do is go and type in Jill Stein's name and do a 5-minute research. And that was enough for me to just get hooked. Like, I was clicking on one video, and then I started to click on the next video and the next video. Jill Stein really is an amazing human being, and I can't convince or sway anyone with my words. You will have to actually go and do the research yourself and find out why Jill Stein is amazing. But the reason I'm voting for Jill Stein is because she's all about fixing and healing the planet. She's all about ending fossil fuels and fracking. She's against the inhumane treatment of animals, which when I found that out, I was like, that's amazing. But she is part of the Green Party. So I'm starting to connect the dots with the Green Party, because green, environment, planet, she mentions climate change a lot. And she also talks about our food system, which is a broken food system. So she talks about food, she talks about the environment, she even talks about the inhumane treatment of animals. So when I found that out, you know, as a vegan, someone who defends animals, I was actually ecstatic.
Our fight against climate change has 3 pillars. One is a sustainable food system, and that means local, plant-based, organic, non-industrial food systems. So animal factory farming is out.
Okay.
Dr. Jill Stein, industrial farming has caused a host of ecological and health disasters for the American people, one of the worst of which is waste. Feeding America estimates that over 70 billion pounds of food goes to waste in this country every year, with 25 to 40% of food grown, processed, and transported in the U.S. never even consumed. What would you do as president to reduce the food waste, and how would you make sure that that extra food gets to the people who need it most?
Well, I want to say this is part of a very big problem in a industrialized food system which has waste at all ends and throughout the chain of production, disposal, creation. It's an industrial system which is unsustainable, which has an enormous carbon footprint, which is unsustainable in and of itself. It is also making us sick. This is a industrialized food system that has taken the nutrients out and put a whole lot of refined and processed bad stuff in. So, you know, my view is that we need a wholesale transformation of our food system. We need a sustainable, just, and local system which actually provides food as a matter of justice and as a matter of right, and nutritious food, so we don't have our poorest and most disadvantaged communities, largely communities of color, living in food deserts to start with, and you don't have this massive animal farming system as well, which is polluting our water and our land at the very outset, as well as treating animals extremely inhumanely. So, you know, I think we need a wholesale transformation of our food system so it's run for people, for planet, for health, instead of being run for profit, which is the way that it's currently run. We've integrated food transformation into our Green New Deal. So we're calling for changing our food system together with our energy system and reviving and expanding energy-efficient public transportation so that we can actually attain the sustainable and healthy economies that we need now.
By that time, before learning that piece of information, everything else she said was already in alignment with my beliefs, and she's amazing. And just everything from she wants to get all of the students out of debt and make college and school and education. She wants to make the education system free.
That sounds great, you know, helping millennials getting out of debt in terms of their college debt. But how do you pay for that?
Same way we paid for the bankers. We bailed out the guys on Wall Street,
right,
who actually crashed the economy with their waste, fraud, and abuse. And
so
how did we do that?
you're talking about an $800 billion program? I mean, so again, how do you pay for it?
Well, actually, you know, if you count the quantitative easing for the bankers, that was an additional $4.5 trillion, which is far more than what we need for student debt, which is about $1.3 trillion. So, you know, we did a quantitative
easing, though, was from the Federal Reserve. So are you, are you saying that the Federal Reserve should pay for this?
Well, no, you don't pay for it. The Federal Reserve basically cancels the debt. It doesn't cost taxpayers one penny. And the reason it's good to do it for students is that it actually expands the economy. It's the stimulus package of our dreams to put to work a whole generation of young people that's held hostage in debt, that's working 2 or 3 part-time, temporary, low-wage jobs, not doing what their passion is, what their skills are, what they've been trained to do. So this is the stimulus package of our dreams, unlike the bailout for Wall Street, which just allowed more of the gambling as usual.
You talk about these students as if they were hoodwinked. I mean, it's public knowledge what you're paying to go to college, and it's a personal choice and decision that you're going to pay $250,000 to go get a degree that then you can't get a job.
And that was exactly
it absolves people of personal responsibility. But
well,
again, whatever happened to individual responsibility in this country?
Excuse me, I would like to have a chance to answer. I think I'm here for an interview. Thank you very much. That's exactly the point, because young people were lured into these loans with the promise that there would be jobs. But what happened in 2008? Wall Street crashed the economy, so they basically reneged on their end of the deal. So we have young people who are going to college with the expectation of jobs. But what kind of jobs have been created? There's no question the jobs that have come back are massively jobs that are low-wage, part-time, and temporary.
Why should the government be in the business of giving out college, health care, all of this free stuff? Is that your position on the economy? Government?
It's not government. We, as a society, are part of creating a world we can live in. Right now, young people have become the latest cash cow in a predatory economy. And what have they been deprived of? The ability to get an education, the ability to get a job, and the ability to have a climate in which they can live in the future. Right now, the science is telling us. This is the latest study, actually, announced by NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, called the Oh My God study, which is that we can now expect as much as 9 feet of sea level rise by 2050. So you have a generation that is up in arms. What is it that re-envisions our economy each generation? It has to be the young people.
Well,
but right now, they can't get jobs. They cannot afford education. This is not a world that works for all of us. No society has ever survived by devouring its younger generation.
Well, so where
but
are
that
you?
is exactly what our economy
Where
is
are
doing
you on
right
regulation?
now.
You're thinking about going to college, but you don't want to be in debt, or you have a friend who's dealing with student loans and they have so much money to pay back to the point where they're going to have to be paying that back for the rest of their lives, then you might want to inform them about Jill Stein, because right now she's the only candidate who's going to cancel student loan debts. See, what they would make you think is that they're in power. Hillary Clinton is in power. Donald Trump is in power. These people are literally scared. Again, I'm not the best when it comes to talking about politics, but I feel like this is very important. This November is coming up, and this is really the make or break moment. Another reason why I'm voting for Jill Stein is because she's also fighting for Black Lives Matter, and she's also fighting to retrain the police system. Basically, what she's going to do is have the police system investigate every crime that happens. So if someone gets shot and they're a black person and they wanted justice on that case, there's going to be a huge investigation, and she's going to make them dress in a uniform so that they resemble more of the community. So people don't feel intimidated when they're around police officers who these days are dressing more and more militaristic and more fearful or scary. But yeah, Jill Stein is all about climate change. She's all about getting the word out about climate change and the destruction of the environment. She haven't really said anything as far as animal agriculture destroying the environment, but she does throw that in there every once in a while. Like, she does talk about our food system and how it's a waste food system, and how people are sick because of the food system. But she's not necessarily saying exactly what is making people sick. But I'm not going to hold that against her right now, because people hear vegan president and they're like, fuck that, I'm not going to vote for a vegan president, or I'm not going to vote. And I'm not saying that she's vegan. I don't know what she is. I don't know if she's vegetarian. I don't know if she's vegan. From what I've seen clips of her saying that she wants to actually shut down slaughterhouses. And then there were other clips where she said that she wants to treat animals more humanely. She wants to make it so that animals are treated humanely. So I'm not quite sure if she's just going to make slaughter more humane and comfortable, or if she's going to eliminate animal slaughter altogether. But either way, she still has my vote, because I feel like this woman compared to Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton is like, it's like comparing apples to donuts. So, yep, that's my vote. My vote is for Green Party. My vote is for Jill Stein. I really recommend you guys get into the Green Party. You do some research on YouTube and just look at any video of Jill Stein giving a speech, and there's many of them, any video, and tell me that her words doesn't resonate with you, or tell me that this is not the person that you can actually see and call the president of the United States. Another thing that I want to talk about is Donald Trump. We get it. We get it. Donald Trump is an asshole. He's a careless, racist, bigoted idiot. Just moron, basically. Okay, we get it. He's not fit to be the president of the United States. We get that. I feel like the media keeps trying to jam that down our throats by showing clips of him saying outrageous statements and acting stupid. And for me, I know that it's just all a big distraction. It's just all a game. But the reason why Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton get so much exposure and not the third-party candidates is because Donald Trump takes corporate money, basically. Same thing with Hillary Clinton. These people are endorsed by corporations, bad businesses, and bad companies who endorse them by giving them millions and millions of dollars. As for Jill Stein, on the other hand, the third-party candidate, the Green Party, does not take $0 from corporations. All of their money, all of their fundings are directly and straight from people who donate to her cause, people who donate to the Green Party's campaign. You could say that Donald Trump is an asshole and that he's evil and that he's going to destroy America or he's going to create more wars, but Hillary Clinton is also an asshole. Hillary Clinton is also evil, and her intentions are not good at all. She still supports war. She may go into World War III. She's all about bombing people in different nations. So just because she might make you comfortable in this country, that doesn't mean that she's necessarily going to have your back in the long run. Neither Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump are trying to solve the problems of climate change. What is she going to do for climate change? What is she going to do when the planet is so decimated and destroyed to the point where we're going to have little to no resources? We're going to see at least, I believe it was 9 feet of sea level rise by 2050. Just like all of these crazy things that's happening. What is Hillary Clinton going to do for you if she's in the White House? Oh, but she's better than Donald Trump. Okay, she's better than Donald Trump, but she's not going to solve the problems of the planet. So you're still fucked. It's like, stop voting for people who you like more than the person you dislike. Vote for somebody who you can agree with. Vote for somebody who you can be proud to say, okay, I'm putting my vote here. I'm sorry, but in what world are we instilled with fear in order to cast a vote for what we believe in? Last I checked, votes are supposed to be earned. And Hillary Clinton have not earned my vote. I would never vote for that crazy psychotic bitch. I would never vote for her. Yeah, Donald Trump is psychotic, but so is Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is also a psychopath. Donald Trump may support killings and he may be racist, but Hillary Clinton's track record also has racism on it, and she also wants to kill people. So at the end of the day, she still supports going to war. And is that someone who these people are like the modern day Hitler. Hillary Clinton's track record isn't as polished and clean as everyone thinks. The only reason why people are going to vote for Hillary Clinton is not because they actually care or like Hillary Clinton. The only reason why people are voting for Hillary Clinton is because they dislike Donald Trump. So, in the words of Jill Stein, I would say, forget the lesser evil and vote for the greater good, like our lives depend on it, because they do. So, I'll see you guys later. Till then, peace and love. Peace.
Well, let me just pick up. The Washington Post is a pretty liberal newspaper. After interviewing you, this is an editorial that they wrote. The headline, Jill Stein's Fairy Tale Candidacy. And in it, they said this: Jill Stein's policy ideas are poorly formed and wildly impractical. Dr. Stein, that's not good.
Well, I think they called me actually a fairy tale campaign, to which I would answer, in fact, we are living with a couple of nightmare campaigns right now that the American people object to at absolutely unprecedented levels.
Oh!